Zebo works 24/7 to kill 99.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your teacher, Kenny B, here on part 2 of making sure your children don't turn out like this. You see that? You see this person? You see this person right here? Like, literally, look at that person right there. If anybody could look and see that person, I wish I could bring it up where it can be, you know, like enlarged or something like that. How y'all doing? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you can, tap that button. We're going to talk some grown people stuff, some like parent stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't like to talk about parent stuff because we don't want our children in this type of situation, right or wrong. Don't nobody want to see their kids out here doing stuff like that. So we have to learn how to pick a conversation, and even some of these hard topics or conversations we have to have with our children. A lot of us are afraid to have these conversations, even ask them, hey, what you doing, what you're into, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, what goes on in this, time, that anything can happen. Anything can happen. So you got to watch out for your children, man. You got to make sure your children is protected, or at least know something. How y'all doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. How y'all doing? Welcome in. So it's important for us, man, to learn who our children is, because there's so much going on out here, and we don't want our kids to end up like this. Now, I know none of y'all, because if y'all look at that, it's not just a group of people just sitting there having fun. No, these are people that, look at this one right here. Look at him. His face is on the ground, literally on the ground. This is Miko at the park. And a lot of your kids will come to LA thinking that, oh, it's famous, I'm going to do this and do that. And they might wind up in a line like this. Look at that. You don't want your kids to be lined up like that, man. That's a hard reality. So you better start talking to your kids. These kids now, you walk down the street, they linked all over, bent all over, stuff like that. Why? Because we didn't have a chance to talk to our kids, tell them, hey, man, you know what? I think you better than that. I expect a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? You didn't come up from them hard beginnings like that. You know what I'm saying? You had a little bit more cushion. So make the better decisions. We have to teach our children to make better decisions. Welcome in, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing? If you know somebody, man, that's going through that, a parent or something going through it, the kids and stuff is kind of getting off into the streets, that street life or whatever, and they don't know what to do, man, you need to go to a couple of your friends and y'all sit down and y'all have a conversation. But the main important thing is asking your kids what's going on. Why are you doing that? What's up with you? You know what I'm saying? How you doing? Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. There's some grown folks talk, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't like to talk about grown folks talk. They skip it around. But right now, what we're dealing with in this country is an epidemic where we having people to bring substance inside of this country, and it's poisoning our children. And we have to watch out for that. We can't rely on somebody that's in the government to stop it or whatever, because we know it's happening. It's coming over here. If you my age, 50, you remember when the Iran-Contra stuff was going on, and you see what they did to the community that I come from. You know what I mean? And then they want to act like, blame it on, it was our problem. It was something that we was doing in our communities. But no, in fact, what it was the Iran-Contra, Oliver North, Ronald Reagan, and George Bush Sr. Yes. And who infected our communities with a lot of garbage. And now, what we're dealing with now, we see the garbage right here. This is the garbage. Look at the garbage. Look at that person right here. This person right here is so comfortable with the garbage that he's laying his face on the ground. Think about that. You that comfortable or you'll lay your face on the ground? Man, I just want, to make sure everybody know, man, hey, you ain't got to do that. And if your kids going through some stuff like that, man, try to talk to your kids, man. Get with your kids, talk with your kids, learn a new slang, a new lingo. All that is possible, because what it is, we don't know what they talking about, or what they, we just listen to these radios and stuff, and they be saying certain things, and We don't know what they really mean, but come to find out, they talking about other things that, that's over our head. We we some generations from that. To them, this is cool. When we was coming up, we didn't see that to be cool. Hanging out and being, the finny, they call it the fentanyl fold. The finny fold. You fold over like it's the finny fold. We wasn't trying to do that when we was kids. You know what I'm saying? We might have got somebody on that was older and go comp or something from the liquor store, and that was it. We wasn't trying to be like old Mudfoot. Mudfoot always talking like this, scratching the itch, We wasn't trying to do that. That wasn't cool for us. Now today, you see these little cats all on the radios with cups and stuff, interviews. Man, that's sloppy. Even when we was in our Chronic era, right? The album Chronic by Dr. Dre, we still wasn't doing something nasty and sloppy. Everything was professional. You know what I mean? We still was gangster out, chilling, attention and stuff. These cats now, they all doing fentanyl. So, at the end of the day, man, please talk to your kids, man. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? Welcome in, man. Hit that share, like if you know somebody that need to hear this, man. They going through some problems with their kids and don't know how to control them or know what to say to them or whatever, man. Maybe they need to hear this. Maybe they need to hear that their parents are out here concerned about them, and don't know how to connect with them because we're so distant with the Instagrams and all the social medias or whatever, the what they call celebrities. They got somebody, these influencers, as they try to consider them as celebrity. And I beg, what's their talent? Getting on here talking shit like I'm doing right now, so that makes me a celebrity because I'm sitting here having a conversation and talking to you, conversing back with a lot of these people Anyway, you mean you can't play an instrument or nothing? You can't draw, paint? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a puppet or ventriloquist or nothing. You just here just wasting people time on here and y'all want to call that a celebrity. Okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, man, make sure that you able to talk to your children, that you know a little bit information about what's going on in these streets, because a lot of parents, fathers, mothers always say this. The worst thing that I always hear, man, I sure wish I knew that my son or my daughter was doing this before this happened to him. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have saved my son and had a talk with them so they can, and that's what so you know what? Sometimes you got to pick a conversation with your child. Sometimes you got to pick a conversation with your child. Like, what you doing? Why you sleeping like that? You know what I'm saying? Why you scratching your neck like that? You know what I'm saying? Is anything wrong? You need to go to a rehab. You know what I'm saying? Hey, question it. Ain't no wrong questions when it comes down to your children. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no wrong questions. If you got a question for your child, please try to get an answer from that child, because you don't know. Maybe that's what the child wants you to do, to ask what's wrong, what's going on, how can I help you? You know what I'm saying? Money ain't everything. Sometimes it can be a hug. You can hug your child and that can be everything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can tell them, I'm sorry, I apologize for not buying you that Tonka truck when you was 18 years old. You big grown motherfucker. You want a damn Tonka truck at 18? You big crybaby. Here, take this motherfucker, and you better be a good person after this. And if you don't be a good person after this, I'm going to take this Tonka truck. So, yeah, man, at the end of the day, talk with your kids, man, because we only get one life, and we want to make sure within that time of being around your kids, man, you can teach them the best or give them the best advice while you're here or while they are here. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, man, you want to feel good in the heart. And out here right now, we see our children, man. Our children are doing this. This is what our children are doing. I don't think that this is a good thing when we see our children land on the ground like this. You know what I'm saying? Bent all over. Like, you see how this person is bent over? Do you see this? I don't know if y'all really see this. You see how they land on the bench? This ain't somebody waiting on no bus. These ain't people waiting on the bus. You know what I'm saying? These are somebody babies. This is somebody baby. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's child. It came, birthed them, rather if it was the male or female. And this is the situation that it's in. Right? You don't want your child like this, so you better talk to your child. Don't give it up to Jesus. I'm going to let go and let Jesus. Fuck all that. That's the wrong motherfucker to let go and let, because evidently he got in a situation when he was fucked up. He ended up on the motherfucking cross and got crucified. So that ain't the motherfucker I want to put my kids' hands in. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give that person responsibility because evidently he made some bad decisions himself. And even his father forsaked him. Okay, even Mary didn't believe in him. You know what I'm saying? For a reason, because sometimes shit gets like that. All right, let's keep it 100. So if you love your kids, you take a hold of your shit. Grab your child, goddamn me, and pull him or her into man or womanhood. You damn right. Don't leave it up to some fictitious motherfucker in a book. Take control of your child. Grab that motherfucker and pull them into goddamn me manhood or womanhood, because that's what it is. They don't want to grow the fuck up. Too many grown motherfuckers out here still want to be somebody's baby, you know what I'm saying, and let them get taken care of them. No. Let your baby grow up. You got to pull them into manhood, and these are the results of somebody pampering their children. You pampered your child, so now it feels like you owe them something. See that? You see that? I don't owe a child nothing. I already gave you the gift. The gift was life. The gift was, goddamn me, you coming through my body, through my thoughts. From my thoughts came down my spinal cord into my scrotums, and then come out you. 3 trillion of you motherfuckers coming out at one time, and your motherfucking ass was the best one, the strongest one, and the smartest one, and had the intelligence to go swim some motherfucker where and sit down for an incubator. Thank you. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? So look how amazing that you are to be here, and knowing that your parents really that first one, when you had to swim, that intelligence, when you was alive, when you first, the conception, when you first was born, when you knew what you was doing, you went and sat down. That's how smart and how strong that person, that kid is. And you got to remember to tell that child, that's how strong you, out of 1 billion motherfucking sperm cells, you made it. Out of all the motherfuckers, the 1 billion people that could have been born with one motherfucking burst of sperm, all the people that could have been born, you was the strongest one. You was the best one and the most one and the intelligent one, and you had common sense, and you was alive then. You wasn't alive when your mama birthed you. You was alive when your daddy conceived you. See, they take away the power and they give them a fake God, a fake father, when your father is your creator. Let me say that again. God creates life. So therefore, if I created life, I am a God. So therefore, when you lie and give him some fictitious God in the sky, some pedophile, okay, some baby murderer, this is what your kids wind up doing. This is what your kids wind up doing right here. When you let go and let God handle it, this is what happens to your child. Instead of grabbing your child and telling him, I love you and you better than this and we can work this out. But no, you let Jesus have it, right? And look at your baby laying on the ground. Look at your baby bent all over. Can't even stand up straight no more. Don't have nowhere to go, so it lays on a bus bench all day, sitting around trying to follow a dragon. You see that? So when people sit up there and tell you need Jesus, you know you don't. Shit, didn't he get himself in trouble? Wasn't he tied up some motherfucker where? Didn't he do something so bad, was so sinful that they had to do something to him? Yeah, okay. Let these people keep lying to you. Let these people keep lying to you. That's why we ain't got nowhere, because we looking for some Casper the Friendly Ghost to make a trick happen to bless your baby so they can come home and they can be right and get off that stuff. Huh? You want your baby to get off that stuff, but you letting somebody, a fictitious story, tell you that he gonna get off that stuff. Where is he? Is he up here in that tree somewhere? Where is he? Because there go your baby right there. Who want their baby like that? I don't care who you are. You don't want your baby like that bad? Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. All these people ain't waiting on no bus. The people who waiting on the bus can't even sit down because they crowded right there. They scared to go sit there because somebody baby over there, they don't even know if they got the fentanyl fin. They got the finny fold. Okay? And they walk around like this, right? They can't even stand up straight no more. They gotta walk around like this. And when they get really bad, they in a wheelchair. When they really, really bad, they got stuff yeah, they get it right on off. And they still using the stuff. That's how bad it is, man. So you gotta know your enemy. You gotta know we ain't producing that stuff in America. And just like when they did, like I said, the Iran-Contra and Oliver North, George Bush Sr. and Ronald Reagan, when they did that to us in the 80s and the 90s and put that in our community, look what they doing in our community now. But see, what happened is, like they did then, they didn't expect that Europeans would grab so hardly, right? So now, look at the color of these people, though. Look at the color of these people. Yeah, you got some, but look at the color of these people. So you got majority of the people who they was trying to exterminate, right? They really ain't messing with it. But the people who put it on you, let it come through this country, and it's affecting them. They coming down to the black and brown communities. They getting out of the suburban areas because why? Why y'all don't want y'all mothers and grandmothers and stuff like that seeing that? Why y'all want to bring that down into the black community? Oh, so y'all can bring the property value down. Yeah, you let people come down here and exploit and bring the property value down. So now the big what do you call it, developers come in and they start taking over your stuff, just like Boys in the Hood. Just like they was talking about Boys in the Hood. We in California. That's MacArthur Park. That is MacArthur Park. That is a picture I took myself, ladies and gentlemen. And there's if you go through my thing, you can find a lot of other videos that I post or whatever. Some are funny, some are like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But this is the truth. This is real. This is not fake. You know what I'm saying? You talking about coming to Hollywood. Everybody want to go to Hollywood. Yeah, and you see that, then what? You see that and how you feel. You didn't waste your money. You could have went and did something else, right? So we gotta watch what's going on, man. They putting this out in the streets. This is why they trying to close those borders. Y'all talking about immigration, but what about these kids that's not living too long because of the stuff that's coming through the borders? Nobody give a fuck about that. See, you worried about somebody cousin and auntie and them motherfuckers getting sent back. But what about the motherfucking kids that's over here dying from the stuff that's coming through they aunties and uncles and them? Fuck your Theo when it comes down to my son, my daughters. Nobody's talking about that. You worried about motherfuckers getting deported who traffic dope over here. That's what's fucked up. These people are known for, you know what I'm saying? And you mean to tell me, because I'm right here and you can't say that I'm lying. This park right here, I live only 2 blocks away from, and I know what goes down. And I know who get dropped off over here by the coyotes. So at the end of the day, you're not going to lie to me and try to pull that one over my head. Oh, they so mean to... No, who the hell bringing this over here? We don't grow it in our country. Why is your kids like this? Who the fuck bring that shit over here like this? They not getting this from the hospitals? No, because it's outlawed in this country. So if it's outlawed in this country and they bring it through the borders, who the fuck bringing it through the border? Make it make sense. This ain't like 1 or 2 people getting caught. No, it's an everyday thing coming through there. They got whole manufactories over there that's dealing nothing but that. Whole manufactories. Forums, just like Gavin Newsom just had a forum where he had young children under 14 years old, unaccompanied, working in a marijuana cannabis farm. Indoors and outdoors. Now, y'all talking about they just doing fruit. Oh, they making fruit. No, they got cheap labor over here, slave labor. 14-year-old kids working around marijuana. If your kids around marijuana, Department of Family Service going to come and get your kids. But here go the governor of California enslaving children for a lower dollar and undocumented. And y'all talking about, come on, man, y'all keep it 100. That farm raid that they did here was a marijuana farm by Gavin Newsom. How about that? Your governor got a whole plant over 200-some acres full of nothing but marijuana. Your governor of California, and got underage kids working there? Nobody said nothing? And he trying to stop what raid? That's why they trying to stop the raids. Because you got so many people who's supposed to have these corporations be operating under a tax break, right, of having certain workers. And now you claim these workers, but you're not putting it on your taxes because you put yourself in a certain tax frame. Or you have them and got them at a certain wage or whatever, and you lying on your tax. So it's all a scam. It's all a hustle.com. It's all a hustle.com. That's what my friend Unlearn the World, that was his website. And when you can look and see the hustle that's going on right now, man, this how they do it. They get your emotions, you working off of emotions. I can't believe that they doing the ice raids, and I can't believe it. I can't. The whole time they hitting a flea flick on your ass. They doing some old flea flicker stuff on you. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, like I said, man, get your voodoo. Do your voodoo, man. Get your voodoo stuff on. You know what I mean? Protect yourself. Quit relying on somebody else's in the sky. Somebody else's sky daddy that they created in a book that was not for us. Because that is not a good God. Anytime he was doing what he was doing in that Bible, that's not a good person. And somehow we didn't confuse ignorance, right, with good-hearted. Somehow we did that. Then we changed the name to Yahshua and Yukashimi and Yasawazes and all this old, just to try to justify the ignorance of white people and what they have done historically. You know what I'm saying? The evil shit that they have done historically with religion, and got you still to this day on some stupor to your children. You leave your children out here like that. That's how you leave your children. In Jesus' name, you do that. In Jesus' name, that you leave your children out there talking about the Lord gonna fix. Fix what? What he gonna fix? How he fix? He ain't fixed it yet. Your grandmama's still dead. Granddaddy died of what? Okay. I love y'all. I'm out of here, man. If you like this, share it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna post it up later on so you can watch the whole thing, man. But this part two of being a responsible parent. As a father, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us ain't real parents out here. We just dress things up to make it look good so you can talk to your friends, say, look what my baby doing it. And for real, your kids out here dirtball bad. Ain't got no knowledge of what's going on. And when they get out in the street, they get bopped on the head just like this. You see this? They get bopped on the head. All because you sat up there and you didn't teach your kids. You didn't pull them over and say, hey, baby, what's going on? What you need? How can I help you? What do you need help with? You can stop your child from don't leave this up to the Lord. We seen when you leave it up to the Lord because your kids be out here covered, right? Y'all say, oh, he's covered with the blood of Jesus. You're right. He covered with a white sheet and blood. You're right. And that's how I see majority of y'all. When y'all leave it up to the Lord, when you leave it up to the Lord, he's covered with the blood. That's where I see y'all kids covered up with a white sheet and blood. You right. Don't leave your kids out here, man, waiting on a fictitious motherfucker to help you. You better help your kids while you here. You better help your grandbabies while you here. Because when you gone, you ain't going to be able to reach back to help them. You ain't going to be able to reach back to help them. You better help them now. Because when you're dead and gone, you can pray all you want. And that fictitious thing that you was praying while here in the world, he going to do the same thing that he was doing when you was alive. Not a damn thing. Your kids out here suffering. Think about all the dead people that you know that passed away right now. And goddamn, you still out here swinging and the Lord still ain't came. God still ain't did nothing better. He getting worse and worse. As a matter of fact, when you read about the shit that he was doing in that Bible, it should make you turn your damn stomach and make you think. But no, you sit up there and call it good. That's good what he did to them firstborn babies. It was good when he flooded the whole world, huh? That was good. He called it good. That was good. No wonder we out here suffering because we got stupid ass people out here allowing our children to be ignorant from stupidity and ignorance of European ideology. Our kids out here fucked off. Because we just sat up here thinking that some motherfucker body in the book, some character in the book that either was a pedophile or had a son who got crucified for loving a boy. For loving a boy. That's right. That was his sin. See, people are talking about Jesus was out saying, well, what did he go to court for? Why did they beat his ass? Why did they crucify him? They didn't do it for nothing because he was trying to save your life. How the fuck he looking in the future? Yeah, I'm going to save that nigga Kenny B life in 2025. Stop it. Our children are dying. Our children are out here like this. This is our children. Somebody's children out here doing this. And then while you sitting up there praising the Lord, your baby out here doing this. Your baby out here on the ground like that. Look at your baby. Look at your baby on the ground right there. Look at him. That's your baby. Where is your God? You gave him a stepdaddy, a sky daddy. Where is that sky daddy? How does that sky daddy contribute? Because he didn't even contribute to Jesus. He never seen Jesus. He never talked to Jesus. He never went to Mary and gave him no child support. Went to the man Joseph in his sleep. You weren't even man enough to see him face to face. Talking about, yeah, man, that's my son. Take care of it. You went to a dream. God came to Joseph in a dream. That ain't a man. That ain't even a God. If you was a real man, you'd have went to Joseph face to face. Yeah, man, I had sex with your woman, put my baby up in a dog. I ain't going to be around, but I sure appreciate it if you take care of it, man. Treat it like it's yours. No, we ain't God that wasn't that sensible. So when we talk about that character, when we talk about that character in that book, that wasn't good. When you read the Bible and see the things that God wanted you to do and what he did to other people, that wasn't good. And for some reason, my people are so naive and ignorant that they will say, God is good. All the time, God is good. Or whatever that little stupid ass shit. And so it's the saddest thing, because when you tell me that the African baby, right, in Egypt, that is Africa, that means that's a black little baby in Africa, it was okay and cool for God to take the lives of the firstborn of the African babies? How sick are we when we sit there and allow that? That's what y'all call good? When he murdered the whole world, right? With water. So that means the fish didn't even live, because they couldn't even find a fish to eat. So what the fish do to them? What all the other animals you got to get 2 by 2, what they do to you? Then you talking about the birds in the sky flying around. They ain't did nothing to nobody. Why the hell he... And this is the crazy thing that people don't even mention, that he also did it to their gods. I'm sorry. See, that's what, yeah. He took their gods away from them too. So that means there was other people that was out there, other gods out there being worshipped. Like they say, he a jealous God. So now he not only took the firstborn of man, flock, and herd, but he took away their gods as well. When Moses came down seeing them worship a golden calf, aka the black woman, they got mad and jealous. He destroyed let me say it again, worshiping the golden calf, which is the black woman, Nut. Y'all was worshiping our culture. Now they give you a homosexual trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Where's Mary? Since God is good, where's the why y'all got a homosexual trinity? Man, woman, and child. But you'll sit there and tell your kids, and now your kids out here like this. Your baby's out here like this. Why your baby's out here like this? Your baby shouldn't be out here welcoming y'all. If y'all like this, share, like, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe, follow, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell the truth and everybody else going to lie. They going to lie. I'm going to give you something to really think about. Go do homework. You ain't got to believe me. Go do your own homework. Do your own homework. I ain't Dr. Umar. I ain't SETI. You know what I'm saying? I ain't Malcolm X. I'm Kenny B. And I'm putting it on the table. John 19:25-27. Jesus admit why he was down on the cross to his mother and pointing his lover to his mother at that point. That was his lover. The only person Jesus said he loved. It's known in the Bible that he loved this man. But y'all will sit up here talking about he was without sin. That man was a homosexual. And they took him out because of that. Because you're talking about you a rabbi and a homosexual. Oh, man, you can't do that. That's blasphemy, man. You said you the son of God. Oh, man, that's blasphemy. We can't have that around here. We can't have that around. That's why they took him out. Judas told on him. Judas gave the 30 pieces of silver to get. They gave him 30 pieces of silver to tell, to snitch, to show the where he was at, where he was doing that homosexual rituals, that they was out there having a homosexual ritual. Okay? They straight was having a homosexual ritual out there. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. They was doing a ritual. And when Judas took him out there to show him that's what they was doing, and they was out there naked, man, they took him in there. Oh, man, you can't be no rabbi out here doing that. You under the Torah. Remember, he wasn't a Christian. In order to be a Christian, that's where the homosexuality come in at. Yeah, Christianity is the homosexuality part of that religion. See, when he was under the Torah, which meant he was a Jew, so therefore he read certain things of the Ten Commandments. So when Jesus come in for on this thing, and when they come into this Christianity, they make this book. That's when King James, the book was dedicated to King James because of King James' homosexual ways. And they combine these two books, the King James Version and the Torah, pieces of both of them, and put it together and call it the Holy Bible. It's two different books. This is why you can go in that book and it contradicts itself, because when they talking about shit with Peter, Paul, Jane, Mary and all that, that's different from Ezekiel, you know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy, you know what I'm saying? All those type of words, you know what I'm saying? It's Job, all those words is different. But when you get to the English version, that's where the homosexuality come in, because that's when Jesus come in. Because the Torah never talked about Jesus. God never told Moses that he was going to have a son by a lady named Mary. Oh, y'all didn't know that. Oh, y'all. Okay. Stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. Do what you do, man. I appreciate y'all for doing this, coming on or whatever. I try to say hi to everybody, but sometimes when I get going, man, I get going and I'm rolling, and I got to learn how to stop, because they would block this. You know what I'm saying? They would cut this off, and I can't do nothing about it. And if nobody see it, how good is it? What is it good to anybody, right? So I love y'all, man. I do this out of love, not no hate. I do this out of love. Because they lie to us so much, lie to our children so much. You see what I'm saying? They lie to our people. And for that reason alone, we must understand and overstand. If somebody don't say it, that's how it's crippling us as a race. If nobody put the information out there to go find it, to look up themselves, we at a standstill, we ignorant. That's what they want us to do, get far away from the truth. So they can be able to tell you, yeah, your kids that's 12 years old can make a medical, surgical, sexual decision at 12 years old, and you can't say nothing about it. Sign a bill by the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. See, they want you that naive and away from the reality where they'll do that to your child. I had to take my kid out of school, and I homeschooled him, and he graduated this year. Okay, and I did it ever since the 6th grade. And that's when they was trying to push it from that point or whatever, that agenda onto the black child. And I refuse to do that. And you got to take matters to your own hands, man, and teach your own kids. It might be a little hard and difficult, man, but it's so rewarding. I'm telling you, when you sit there and you seeing your kids walking across that stage or whatever, because you educate them, you put them in the right environment to learn, or set up or some type of path that where they didn't have to be exposed to all that type of stuff, man, it's no better honor than that. When your kids got a chance without the ignorance of people who never raised children. Let me say that again. A whole race of people who never historically raised children, who have allowed other people to raise their children, nurse their children. They called them nannies, slave, mammy, medias, or whatever the term that they was calling them people at that time. You know what I'm saying? Historically, those people never raised their own kids. So why the hell would you sit up there and let somebody who don't even know how to raise their own kids, who basically have these Jeffrey Dahmers and these Ted Bundy type of motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying? Let me say that again. These Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy motherfucking spit outers. How they gonna tell your kids what to eat? How they gonna tell your kids how to act in public when we seen little Tommy ass throw a fit out there and knock everything over in the grocery store? And what the same thing we say, boy, I'll beat this. What you do to your kids when you see them little motherfuckers acting like that? Because they historically never raised good children. Let me say it again. Historically, never raised good children. Can't even comb their hair correctly. So how the hell you gonna sit there and let somebody tell you some shit on The View or one of these talk shows who don't even raise their own kids, who don't even have good, successful kids? Think about it, man. Take control of your kids, man. God ain't gonna do it. Them motherfuckers in the image of Jesus, whoever they put it, that's not gonna help you or do it. They can't even cook. They can't cook and comb your damn kids' hair. Why the fuck you lay in the bed with them and having? Okay, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. Y'all keep sucking me into this, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. That's a no. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. You're not gonna suck me. I'm getting a little too deep. So I love y'all. I love y'all. I love you. Share this, man. Like, subscribe, whatever the fuck they do. I don't know what they do on this motherfucker, but I'm just here to just give the knowledge. Shit, I ain't trying to make no money. If I can make money, I can make it, but I ain't finna beg nobody for nothing. I'm just gonna put the word out here because the game's to be sold, not told.